don't have to look anymore now that I've seen you. I don't have to dream anymore now that you came true. I'm already yours. I don't have to look anymore now that I've seen you. I don't have to dream anymore now that you came true. I'm already yours. I'm already yours. I don't have to look anymore now that I've seen you. I don't have to dream anymore now that you came true. I'm already yours.
Once again, I'm inside the spaceship. I'm using Rumble because that's usually when I do my drawing streams. I figured it worked out better. Unfortunately, there's a delay, so my voice doesn't match the video, at least from my viewing of it. Whatever, I'll do the alien review, hence the spaceship set, and then we'll get into the drawing. Won't that be nice? I think so. So, therefore, it is. All right. Alien Earth, episode 6, I think. So after the mini Alien movie they did last week, they're back to the present on the Neverland Island, and once again, creepy boy Cavalier is reading Peter Pan, and of course, it sounds all the more horrific in his voice than you ever would have thought originally. Yeah. And everything is afoot. They're coming to a head. By now, things got to get into gear. And so all the plots are unfolding and whatnot. So Prodigy and Waylon Yutani have a meeting, and they've got to, hey, we want our stuff back. He quotes certain laws and whatnot. The arbiter says, well, he's got a point, and all this sort of thing. And so they're going to have to, okay, we tried to work this out all nice and stuff and was offering you a lot of money and everything, and you're still going to be a dick about it. So, of course, he doesn't really want to give up the specimens until he can learn their secrets or at least get something out of the deal, you know. And all that unfolds. So once that really goes south, even though they reached a deal, it's not good enough because boy Cavalier pulls yet another fast one on him and all this sort of stuff. So of course the secret plan of just, hey, let's break in and steal our stuff back, and so that's underfoot and looks to be underway by the end of this episode. So of course the boy who's being extorted due to the Moro threatening his mother has to fulfill the plan, has to have somebody get a face hugger and the rest, and then deliver that guy tomorrow. If they achieve that, apparently Waylon Yutani doesn't seem to care too much about the other specimens. The main goal is that. So they're really, Xenomorph still rises to the top, even though all the other critters, well, they're interesting. Didn't really get a full view of the these, I don't know, flies. I want to so we get a better view of them in this episode. And oh boy, are they nasty. All these creatures are absolutely awful. Couldn't one, maybe the plant is just really nice. It has that weird thing coming out of it, but who the hell knows? It's sitting over there very quietly. It could be the worst of all and all that kind of thing. Yeah. And but as it unfolds, it's still intriguing. I've heard complaints about it and whatnot, and they do have points. There's a lot of stupid mistakes throughout the show, but it balances out by some of the stronger aspects of it and what they do to deal with the psychological consequences that these hybrid, which these poor children put into these android bodies, and you got to see some of that and what their solution is, because it's getting close to the. I think it's more to the point that I said this whole business about transhumanism, it's not possible. It's even if you were able to map down to the last thought of somebody before you uploaded it into this other body, it's just a copy of them. It's not them. So you're dying of cancer or whatever, and I'll live on in this new artificial body and all that. No, a copy of you will. So it will have all your memories and your personality and everything like that. But it's not you. You still die and you're done. And I think that's the truth of this. So everybody, including Joe and his sister, who's basically the leader of these hybrids, more or less, Wendy they call her. She's not his sister Marcy. She's really just Wendy. She has all of Marcy's feelings and her memories and everything. She cares for her brother and all that. But eventually, probably come to the moment of realizing, oh, I'm not her at all. That kind of thing. And it's true of all of them. Because they're just a company selling this shit to people. These expensive new bodies, you can live forever, remain forever young. Oh boy, it truly is Neverland and all that. And it's not true. Now you can imagine, if you're desperate, you're dying or whatever, you would subject yourself to this sort of thing, even not realizing it's a scam. But what if you're just somebody who says, yeah, I don't want to grow old, and I'm kind of fat and ugly anyway. I'll get one of these super bodies that they're super strong and all this sort of stuff and that kind of thing. So you go in and they're just going to kill you, but upload the personality so they can't get any lawsuits from the family as they lie to them and say, hey, look, your beloved somebody is living on in this new body. It'll take a little while to get used to his new appearance, but nevertheless, there you go. And he won't die, that kind of thing. And I think it probably plays more into it that they're pretty much aware. There's already been scenes where they go, well, I think it's her. You think, huh? So I think that plays out. And that's one of the strengths of the show. It's not just another Alien sequel. Alien, of course, is the heart of it and what have you, but they've expanded on the world. And that was the only thing left to do, even after Aliens. It's what they should have been doing all along. I don't know how far they would have gotten. Eventually you end up repeating too many things. And a lot of the things do repeat. But what is your idea? What is your story? And this one, at least, they're trying, and they've had some strong episodes. So anyway, this one is just more of what you would expect. Things move forward. The creatures, of course, they're going to get out. They're going to, and keeping it within the continuity of where its position is supposed to be chronologically with the movies and whatnot, is this island will not survive. I think Weyland-Yutani will win this battle with our one way or the other. I don't know that they'll get the samples they want because they're still pursuing it into the later movies and all that. So I guess they're going to lose all of it. If any of the characters survive, one or two perhaps, but all of this, the creatures and stuff are probably, it's all wiped out. But and depending on how they want to couch this, I mean, there's already talk of another season and whatnot. But yeah, one or two survives, and then there's some elements of that, and maybe they end up in space again, or like Wendy could possibly survive and live on for a very long time, and then hear about the Nostromo and stuff like that. They could do that, and all of that, but wouldn't want them to cross over too much, if at all. Just knowledge of what happened and that sort of thing could play out well. So, and it was. I don't really have a problem with the episode. There's stupidity in it, but in the characters themselves. I mean, the kid who screws up and gets himself caught. It's believable that he does it that way. I was trying to think. There was something else about it that. Oh yes, what they do to the redhead girl, and are quickly found out, and also don't seem to anticipate what this, because they're trying to avoid her psychosis, and yet the others realize she's different, and then this is troubling her because the templates of her mindset is still there. She's the one who reacted so badly to the trauma they experienced on the mission at the crash site. And so, this sort of thing, and then tell, yeah, don't you remember that was just a couple of days ago, and stuff like that. But they're in this new territory and whatnot, and they did this. They quote unquote fixed her. They sent her back, and Wendy's talking to her like, hey, what the hell is this about? And the girl's disturbed and everything. So you give her a new thing to be traumatized about, which at this point she really should be. Even the monsters too. But I don't think that goes alongside with some of the stupidity in last week's episode, which you have to go with, that the crew, you get what you pay for. Of course, they were paying them a lot, but you can't. I mean, really, it's the thing of who's going to volunteer for this mission into deep space for 60 years, and everyone is dead by the time you get back and all that. So it's very hard to get good recruits, and this is what you go with. And so they're that stupid. So you had the doctors who didn't mask up when they're dealing with parasitic aliens, and they ended up breathing in, the tick farts, and their eyes bled, and they died. So you see, that's stupid. In Nostromo, they, Ash and Dallas, they knew to put masks on when they were dealing with the face hugger and stuff. But these guys, no. So it's that kind of thing. In here, they're in new territory. They have no idea where this is going to go. They just created these hybrids, and they're not quite sure how this is going to work. Now, the main manager, he just wants them to be ready to go when they go public with this and show off their products. So he doesn't want her wigging out on the show floor and that sort of thing. That's all he cared about. And the ethics here is played out and results very nicely with the plot and the terrible fate of one of the characters here. So it's a strong episode. So far so good. It could still go south. It could still do something very stupid and jump the xenomorph. But so far, even with its flaws, it's still pretty good, and it just might be the long sought after, good sequel, or in between prequel, I forget what, to Alien. So far, there's only been 2 good Alien movies, the first and the second. And up to this show, Alien Romulus was probably the first distant third, but Alien Earth, I think, has already put it as distant fourth. So there we go. Another not too bad, pretty good episode of Alien Earth. That's pretty much how I say it. All right, let's see. Hey, who's here? Of course, Nodak reminds you to hit the like button. Please do. Luke's. Sometimes it feels like real alien Earth is the one that we, etc., etc. Off topic. Hey, Matt, thanks for showing up. Nice to see you here. What the hell, motherfuck? Heard you were talking shit about my great grandfather, cousin's best friend's neighbor's side piece, but we still good. Mother, I love the show. Keep up the great work. And say about your great grandfather. I'm not sure. Well, I apologize if I did. Odds are, I don't know. But anyway, check out Off Topic Show. Matt does his show video. Matt does one of these shows on censored now compound censored.tv, and of course his YouTube shows and what have you. So there you go. Nice of him to stop by. Lugs McGurkin LMAO. Lugs, the Zini, or Zeno, I guess, always rises to the top. Yeah, I don't think the others are going to beat out over, although the Itoptopus is cool, even though he's really little. But he's in that sheep now. And boy, he's still very much a player in all of this, whatever the hell that's about. But he does, at first I thought, hey, but he's got his own interests, I would assume. And I still think he's a bitter enemy of the Xenomorph. But not the idea that he doesn't care about the humans. He's just, they're a means to an end. And so that's that's what he does. And so, of course, technically speaking, he probably didn't see, Toodles. Thought he wanted to be called Isaac. Didn't really care about him because he's not real. Tess says, Dub! Hi, Tess. Lovely to see you here. She says, I accidentally passed out during Pat's stream. You probably should have kept that to yourself. Now, Pat had a great show. It was fantastic. And, well, you missed out. But he had Mr. Kill Everything showed up, then Mersh, and then Patrick Melton showed up. And it was great. And they had a great stream there. So pretty cool, even without the songs. Plus Moody showed up in the chat and gave Pat a new super tip voice, an alternate universe version of Gilly. Yeah, we'll go with that. Nodak, we all noticed Tess. It was embarrassing. Oh my God, everyone saw that Tess passed out on the floor. Good Lord, Tess, you need to get off that stuff. Tess, ha ha ha, Nodak skull emojis. Nodak, no, I don't think anyone said anything. I kind of figured, though, was a chill chat stream with Mersh and Melton joining. Hey, Thompson, you have to accept that it is the conscious. That is why Boy is a trillionaire, and that is why these kids are getting out of control. No, I don't have to accept it, and I don't think you're paying attention to what they literally said. They don't know, and of course the manager there doesn't care, and they're selling that off. But no, I don't have to accept it. The technical aspects of it, how would you do that? I mean, you're literally getting into the supernatural. Now, if they took the brains of these kids, or even if most of it, and integrated it into these bodies, then yeah, all right, there you go. It's the same person. That's not what they did. So how you do that? Yeah, it's a copy. It's a copy. It's just like if you copy files of songs or videos or whatever. It's not the original. I mean, that's that. Tess, that was really cool, man. I mean, Pat's show, yeah, it was. It's great. Hey, Thompson, it's hard to believe that Wendy can take out a xenomorph, but the other kid couldn't swat a fly. Yeah, I know. That's a stumble there, too. I mean, he was panicking and didn't quite understand. And the fly managed to spit its goo in his face. And, of course, it's acidic, so it just ate right through his android body. So he really never had a chance. And plus, he's kind of scared and stuff. But the Wendy thing is even worse. I mean, you don't see it, so they're battling, but there's no indication. And she's hurt. She has a little bit of stuff coming down from her head, so they got to fix her. But there was really no serious injuries to her. And she slices the xenomorph in half. I mean, it's like, come on. You should have had something to where the xenomorph got injured, was not doing so great, or she had something to drop on it that, was really heavy, that a human being couldn't do, or something of that nature. But they didn't do that. With the fly in the guy's face, it's all very quick. He's panicked, and that's what he's still, a little kid. So, I'll give that one a pass. But the Wendy thing, you needed to rewrite that. You can have her kill the xenomorph. Okay, fine. But, I mean, good Lord, if she's Wonder Woman, then why aren't they superheroes too? I don't know. Hey, Thompson, it's not psychosis. It's a real mental illness that transferred with her. The psychosis is not mental illness, Thompson. What the hell? She had a traumatic experience and she can't handle it. And it like the consciousness, it's the copy of her consciousness. So they're exactly the same, except one's dead. And so that little girl, had she been, healthy and everything and never went through the process of the hybrid and all that, and had been thrown into that situation, that's probably the psychotic reaction she would have. She would melt down. It was horrific, and she couldn't handle it. Hey, Thompson, hopefully season 2 will be the prequel. No, I don't want another prequel. And we get one episode per planet these things came from. Oh, yeah, if they see potential in expanding on that, yeah, they probably could do that. Luke McGurgan, I'm glad they're actually trying to treat it like a real thing. We've had a rough 15 years for TV and film, man. Yeah, you're not kidding. Luke's like bad. Yes, it's probably one of the biggest droughts creatively in there for about 15 years. Yes. Rudy Baga, howdy, Doug. Hope all's well. Well, I'm doing a show. Gonna draw a picture or two. So, as good as it can get. I can wear a mask too. Yes, I must admit, I've worn a mask on occasion. Well, I wear a mask every time I go to sleep, CPAP and all that. Speaking of face huggers, it says, hey, Mr. Nailsin. Well, hey to you too. Hey, Thompson. Yeah, Lugs, it's the best show in a long time. I can't believe this is actually on the TV channel. Hey, Thompson, they had that fly eating blocks of metal and rock. That is a hardcore alien. Yeah, that's a weird thing, too. Now, that, like Star Trek had introduced that, well, there's other forms of life out there, silicone-based life, not carbon-based or whatever. But here, it's basically a big fat fly. But it eats metal. I mean, what nutrients would it get out of metal, I mean, obviously it spits acid and crap and, acid. So that's how it breaks stuff down. It's kind of like the fly in the movie. Remember he would barf? He barfed on the rival boyfriend to his girlfriend, and burned his foot off. That kind of thing. So there's that. So I don't know if, like, it spews its goo all over the metal to break it down, and then it eats its vomit. Could be that sort of thing. But still, what nutrients do you get out of metal? And so wouldn't, like in Star Trek, the Horta, or whatever it was a bit of a rock creature, Here it's an alien fly, and it's really big. It's bigger than a cat. Well, that's a little smaller than a cat, actually. But, in that neck of the woods. But it's still a fly. Flies around, that kind of thing. But it has a nest that looks like a giant turd. That's what you get when you go out into space and explore crap like that. Eight times says, if that fly can eat metal and rocks, it can't. It. He can't get out of the glass box. Yeah, I know. So maybe the metal and blocks were different um, elements or something. Who the hell knows? I don't know. They just. It's kind of like the dog when you have the screen door that had glass in it, but I don't know, it cracked or whatever. You took it out, and then the dog still thinks he can't walk through it. You got to open it, and he walks into the house. So, hey, these are vicious flies, but thank God they're stupid. But octopus, sorry, octopus is stupid. He's got his eye on you. Lugs, it was a good stream. I barely chatted, though. Oh, I super tipped quite a bit, but had that echo thing. That I've noticed that on occasion with EV Mux, because I know that's what he uses. He's not using OBS like I do, but OBS can do that. Usually, it's like on my end, I hear it, but it doesn't go out over the stream. But it did in that case, and sometimes it's like when you have the setup, it splits for what goes out and what you're seeing on there. I don't know how else to explain it. And I'll hear it, and they'll overlap to one another. Somehow it was doing that, I think, with him. They were saying, like, when Melton came on, it started, and that's true. Like, it had something to do with Melton, but I'm not sure how. But, oh well. Hey, Thompson, the new voice is Fish Luncha. It's, yeah. The name is, I think, Fishy Gillespie. Yeah. So, hey, Thompson, they copied the brain into the new brain. Yeah, that's what they did. Those kids are dead. There's copies of them, which is kind of this weird thing about these people who want to talk to AI versions of their dead relatives. Yeah, don't do that. Hey, Thompson, the behind the scenes of how they are doing the alien, you can't have it fighting. It would look cheap and disappointing. Look at the behind the scenes for it's just a guy in an alien helmet and all that. No, there's ways to frame that. So, like I said, some sort of damage is done to the alien. He's hurt, a leg is damaged, something like that. He's not at full strength, and she's able to take him down. And also, maybe she should have suffered some damage. She doesn't. One of her arms is lost. That's it. She ends up with a cyborg arm like Moro or whatever, and that kind of thing. You don't just a few minutes behind the garage door, and the big badass xenomorph who just massacred I don't know how many people is cut in half, and she's standing there like, and then passes out. Yeah, they messed up there. Rudy Baga, I'll take a guy in a helmet over bad CGI. Well, yeah, the deal is he wears the alien helmet, and that's the extent of the costume. The rest of the body and everything they CGI in. That always worked better when the use of CGI is to fill in the blanks that practical effects either can't do or they can't afford to do it or what have you. And that sort of stuff. But you got to have something. They're not standing in a green screen room. It just stuff. Anyway, it Thompson, you get the electrons for your acid blood. So they feed on electrons. Well, then they really can just eat their way out. They're just stupid. I don't know. They're hanging out in their poop hive, whatever. I can wear a mask too. You gonna be pop culture breakdown tonight? Yes, that's the plan. Yeah. But and we'll probably be. I know we're gonna talk about Alien Earth on there. But you'll get the whole panel's take on it. So that'll be nice. I would think. Captain Infinity, Time Travel Police. does the live long and prosper Vulcan symbol. Isn't that nice? I think so. All right, that's it for Alien Earth. Check it out on Hulu or Disney Plus, which Hulu is going to be folded in. It should be the other way around. Disney should be folded into Hulu. Yeah. I mean, the streaming service. Jeez Louise. What a crappy streaming service it is. But, you know, what are you going to do? I don't have the money to buy them out. Even if I'd won the Powerball, I still didn't have enough money to buy them out. That was the plan. But then I realized, wait, that math doesn't work. All right. I could just switch to the camera, but I think I'll play this little segment and I'll be right back with the drawing board ready for tonight's autistic tour. Yeah, you just go with it.
This is your ass. This is your ass in prison. Any questions? This has been a public service announcement reminding you that if you do the crime, you will do the time. Hard time. Who killed Buddy the rabbit?
So we've got a dead rabbit. And as the gravedigger's burying it, he notices it's got a broken neck. How'd that happen? One word. Homicide.
Why would anyone kill Buddy?
Seems this Buddy the rabbit lived with quite a few people in that house there. First of all, you got Rob Saul.
No, I wouldn't hurt that little bunny. I mean, my daughter loved that rabbit. I wouldn't have anything to do with that.
I don't know what to make of this guy. I mean, right off the bat, I assumed he was gay. Turns out, though, that his alibi was that he was up all night for about 8 hours talking to some Felicia Fierce lady. And yet, he claims he's not in love with her.
Look, just because I talk to her a lot and I want to have sex with her all the time and I just want to be with her, that's not being in love. Come on, no.
If you can figure this guy out, you're a smarter man than I am. Then there's Ileana.
No, I didn't do it. When that was supposed to happen, I was occupied with a man. 'Cause I cannot pleasure myself, you know? I mean, that's what men are for anyway.
Now that's a likely story. But then again, what kind of psychosis is going on where you never pleasure yourself? Yeah, I gotta keep my eye on this one. Finally, we've got Maya. That's got guilty written all over it. The homicide investigation takes hard work and plenty of experience. Luck hardly has anything to do with it. And speaking of luck, look at poor Buddy. He had 4 rabbit feet. And look where that got him. In a hole in the backyard, that's where.
Who killed Buddy? Tonight on Investigation Discovery.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. A former TV weatherman has been arrested for allegedly making a secret sex tape and then threatening to release it. As cops warned, he could have more alleged victims. Josh Fitzpatrick. Josh Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick? Who worked at 29 News in Charlottesville, Virginia, is accused of secretly filming his accuser during a consensual sexual encounter. Gosh, he agreed to it and then you pulled this stunt. Yeah, because he was like, man, that video gave me a chubby that went. That's what he told her. Yeah. Anyway, the alleged victim reported the incident in February, telling cops the 42-year-old meteorologist had subsequently extorted and threatened them. This might not be a woman. With the release of the clip, investigators said Fitzpatrick relocated to Ohio shortly after the probe kicked off. Oh, he thought, Ohio didn't have an extradition? Anyway, he was nabbed there with the help of Ohio law enforcement on Tuesday. Fitzpatrick was slapped with charges of sexual extortion and unlawful creation of an image of another. Wow. I mean, this is within the context of video and photography, right? I mean, what if he just drew dirty pictures of the other person? Would he be in trouble then, too? I mean, police warned the former weatherman, he no longer in the field, who is in custody pending his extradition back to Virginia, may have more victims, and urged others to come forward. Well, once you get a search warrant of his stuff, provided he hasn't successfully destroyed it all, that if you got it on with this guy, odds are he has video of you. For whatever reason, I guess you just didn't have any money, so he didn't bother you with the blackmail. But this particular victim, man, woman, and we don't know. His former employee covered news of his arrest, but stopped short of releasing a statement. Now, come on. It's the responsible thing. It's like, hey, you just never know. What do you want from us? Anyway, the outlet said he left his position at the TV station in early March. Perhaps because he knew the heat was on, and that was the deal. So the forecast looks to be some serious jail time. I don't know what the mandatories, I mean, it varies from state to state, so I don't know how many years he might get for the extortion, in and of that. I don't know if he had just been caught with taking surreptitious images or videos of coworkers and whatnot and that sort of thing. I don't know what that runs. But he went the extra mile and said, if you don't want your family to see this, and interesting, I understand they protect the identity of victims in these scenarios and whatnot, but them. So, anywho, he's a bad, bad man, and now he's going to pay the price. Yeah, that's what the forecast says.
Just your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News.
This is your ass. This is your ass in prison. Any questions?
All right, there we are. We're back. That ran too damn long. I apologize. Okay, so the deal is I will draw KiKi. This is a request from Pretty Antisocial. After I put out, well, first I did the image of Kevin Brennan with the floating heads of Melton, Anthony Cumia, and Pat Dixon floating around his head, living rent free therein. And then caught a bit of Melton's show talking about the shenanigans from the Content Hotel show. And suggested that he is living rent free in Daddy Doo's head. And so I had to do Daddy Doo with images of Melton floating around his head. Damn it, why can't I get the better of Melton? You know, that kind of thing. And put that out and went off to bed, you know, and then I wake up, there's a response to it from, you know, X and all that. So one of them was Pretty Antisocial, said, hey, could you do one with us floating around KiKi's head? Because, well, apparently there's been some back and forth between, well, I was going to say the two, but the three here. I don't know. I guess they don't get along. That sort of thing. So yeah, sure, I can do that. Drawn KiKi a couple of times. A lot of that involving steel toe. You know, certainly back when she was briefly like a guest host of his show, and then now she and Daddy Doo are you know, big defenders of Aaron and that sort of thing. So and then did a show where I just drew her. You know, I was just picking different subjects to draw. I think no, that one was a request too. I did a series of drawings, and some of these people apologize. I didn't really know them or know of them, but I did all that, and one of the requests was KiKi, and I thought it was, you know, okay drawing. I found some fancy outfit and stuff like that, and she was all dolled up, and there you go. And that's the one I used for well, part of it anyway, for tonight's thumbnail. You know, so. But anyway, Pretty Antisocial had some, like I said, back and forth with Miss Thompson. And did she take the Bisconti name? I don't know. There's like, I guess, I don't know how that works, you know, if it's like you have your stage name or something, you know. And well, you made your name with your real name, and then it's like but then it's like your real name was your real name. So it's not a stage. I don't know. She just still goes by, you know, I don't let's see here. Whoops. So I'll just figure out the parameters here, as this will just be the head sitting there, I guess. And then we'll do it like that, very similar to Daddy Do. But she's kind of upset, so usually the eyebrows can come in, help a great deal. But she's not a fan of these ladies, I take it. And so, got to have character and whatnot. So doing like that. And so, yeah, I don't know all the details about the hotel show. That guy, Schizo Sean, who was booted out, and apparently, KiKi and Daddy Do don't particularly care for this guy, and were like he was up to no good or something. But I mean, he paid to be there. He was one of the guests to be there for the show and stuff. But I guess they said it was a problem, and the hotel gave him the boot. And so I don't know. But he's the guy who taped the Steel Toes show. Back when you couldn't see anything, you could hear it, and you could see. You could see I guess it was like the ceiling of Stoney's, and I do recall that. And I remember it was interesting because I kind of thought like Johnny Crutches was actually doing a really good job in with his jokes and stuff. And I guess it was like a one-time thing. I don't know, because poor Johnny. But he certainly did a lot better than Aaron. But whatever, And then it was interesting when Melton went to basically do the tour of Aaron's world, and then you actually see what the bar looked like and all that. It was a lot smaller, than I thought, and especially when you finally get to see the area which was, I guess, technically the stage for where Aaron was doing his, Frank the Crusader or whatever it was, stuff like that. And, but that's just the way things go. I suppose it's always like when you imagine something and you think it's just bigger rather than, I thought this would be much smaller, but it's enormous, or something like that. It's usually, no, I thought it was much bigger than that kind of thing. So I think what I'll do is we're going to have to eventually take another break as I put all this into Photoshop, because I'll do the other two ladies in the same size as this, but they'll be like floating around. So like one portrait of two, I'm forgetting the names, Haley and damn, that's embarrassing. But anyway, both of them, and then paste them around the KiKi portrait, and so that should work out. So there we go. Do that. Sometimes it's very difficult. Well, that's it. Usually it's very difficult to really capture anybody's likeness at all. I kind of got it. I don't know. But she's young, so there's not a lot there, unless they got something that you can latch onto that's kind of really obvious or that sort of thing. But like with Gino, I mean Daddy Do. He's got the headband and all that, so makes it you got something to say, oh, that's who that's supposed to be, that kind of thing. But like I said, I've done a couple of drawings of KiKi, and so you get used to it, I guess. So, there we go. But the floating heads thing, I think, I'm trying to think who I did that originally with. I certainly did it with, Pat Dixon and his former significant other, because I think everybody realizes that is certainly the case. Floating around and obsessing. All of the above things, denial, obsession, stuff like that. And it just makes it all the more embarrassing. The only thing you can do is, move on. And this surely will happen at some point, but not for all. So again, I don't know what all the events were for the content hotel. Jackie, that's right, Nodak. Jackie, that's the other name. Right. Sorry, Jackie. I apologize. So, yes, Jackie and Haley. I will be drawing them next after this. So, here we have KiKi has a bit of a concerned look because she's going to be obsessing over these podcasters who are, I take it, critical of her on any number of items. Good Lord, there's plenty, isn't there? And all that. So that's the premise, you understand. So I don't know. Of course, I don't know if they did anything about the content house stuff, but probably has more to do with just this strange alliance with Stilto and all that. And still don't know the outcome of Aaron's restraining order thing. And it's like, geez, you'd think he'd have enough of courtrooms, because they almost they never go well for him. Seems like the last thing you'd want to do is go back to court. And then thought somehow, some way there was going to be some kind of win. Well, of course, it's always a win for the two, But again, now that goes back to denial, obsession, delusion. All of these elements do take place, do they not? On full display. And such is the case for Mr. Imholt or Imholte, as I think Alex Stein pronounces it. Oh yeah, another thing about Pat's show tonight. Merch was talking about. Apparently, Karmic is going to get interviewed by Alex Stein. So hey, good for you, Karmic. You know, because Alex Stein is very much aware of the Dabbleverse. So, gee, I wonder how that'll go. It probably won't. Not a whole lot. I don't know. I doubt that he's going to go into his rants and all that sort of stuff. I don't know that Alex Stein would take the time to have his clips drawn up, or maybe, and to look at that. Well, they ask him if he's gay and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe Felicia shows up and joins him on the show. Good possibility of that too. But Stein wants to cover strange anomalies and bizarre aberrations and that kind of thing, and so maybe it'll work out for a few minutes, and that'll be cool. I don't know how cool it'll be for Karmic overall, but I don't know, you might get a kick out of it for once. All right. Okay. Don't worry, Photoshop will fix, stuff. I guess I'll look at some of this. And on the back side of the KiKi drawing, you should draw a star. Okay. Cocktail, I joined in the middle of some good gossip. Here? Cocktail, does it seem weird at all to you that Anthony participated in the Content Tire House? You mean Content House? Well, he's done the others, hasn't he? I don't think it's odd. I think he just, they're still friends and all that sort of stuff. So he did that. He wasn't there for the whole thing. I think he had to take off for his radio gig, or something like that. I mean, it was definitely related to the, that's, where did I just heard? Oh, it was Melton talking about it. He said that. So there you go. Yeah. But I think he's done the other ones. I don't know if all of them, but I think so. So, he did this one too. Cocteau says, Alex Stein was funny today. Lugs, at this point, Karmic must be aware that he's a locale, but he doesn't understand what that really means for him. He believes he has a path from locale to star. Maybe someone does, but there's no stardom anymore. Certainly not for anything. There's interest. You might earn some supplemental income. That's something. But yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of delusion. Well, there's a lot amount of delusion there in his case. But, he's going to say, well, I was on the Alex Stein show. What have you done lately? You piece of shit. That kind of thing. And, well, yeah, he's right. He got to do the Alex Stein show. Yep. That's, That's something. Oh, well, I can sit here all day, but we'll let the ink dry a bit there before I erase it, and then I'll have to deal with it again. All right, now let's see for our next contestant. I don't know which one's which. This is the lady who, doesn't wear glasses, at least on the show. So, and again, once in Photoshop, I'll be able to shrink the head down to float around the head of KiKi. And is KiKi now the preferred, I don't know, nickname or whatever? Because everybody was saying Canoe for a while. Yeah. So, I don't know. There you are. Straighten that up. There we go. There we go. Little by little. Something like this. And then we have the hair all the way down here, all the way over here, all the way over there. It's just going to have to, I don't know, flow around. I don't know. I'll figure something out. It's it's a lot of hair, you know. There we go. And then some more hair on the other side of the head. There typically is, but she parts it on the side and then lets it flow down over here. You see. And there we go. Oh yeah. Something like that. Oh wait. I can't see the there we go. And here, and here. I don't know. I'm looking at this picture of her from while she's doing her show. I think she's probably concentrating on a clip. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, we'll go with that. it's not entirely in focus, but it's what I got to work with. You understand? All right. Good night, Cocteau. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, I need to make mention of the store that at least has the karmic posters and the Kevin one. And should you so desire, you can order those. There's a t-shirt version of it, that kind of thing. All right. Okay. So once again, we will let the ink dry before I erase it, and then I'll have to go over it again. You know, stuff like that. Wait. There she is. Okay. And now I'll do this one. Again, I am not sure which one's Haley, which one's Jackie, but you know, we'll figure it out sometime later. It's fine. But they both seem to be kind of in serious moods in these images. So, I don't know. I guess you could chalk it up to "We're not impressed with you, KiKi," you know, or something like that. Man, they really got. How am I not getting that right? All right. Okay. A lot of the images, she has the headphones on, but we'll just forego that. Okay. All right. Glasses in. All right. Never get the glasses right. All right. All right. Goes that. Then we will take the pencil out. Okay, so it's pretty much intact. A lot of times lose track of what's pencil and what's ink, you know. Then you go in there and half the drawing's gone. Gotta redraw it and stuff. But in this case, most of it's intact. So yeah, that'll work. Okay. Alright. Looks to be the same situation here. Most of it's still there. Whoops. Golly, it sat there a while, but it's still got some little smudge here and there. We'll fix it in Photoshop. Yes. That's why God invented it. Yeah, you can say, no, some programmer did. No. Who made the programmer? That's right. That's right. Everything is because of God. Well, except for the screw ups. That's on you. All right. Okie doke. And finally, I don't know why, but I think this is Jackie. I don't know. I mean, I did see a couple of their shows. You know. All right. All right. Just a few little touch-ups here and there. And I think that's good enough. Good enough. Remember, that is the motto. right, there we are. Maybe I can add a few. Darken in this and that. Boy, once you start something, then you'd create more problems. Oh, well. I think that'll work. It's all about the process in the world of art. All right, there we go. The ladies. All right, so let's see here. Probably have to do yet another break as I move on to the Photoshop. Well, maybe this one. Yeah. Nodak says glasses is Jackie. Haley is the first pretty antisocial drawing. She's a drawing? I mean, she is now. All right. Whoops. All right. I'll take a break. We'll come back in Photoshop.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Another teacher screwing her student. Conestoga teacher? Okay. Michelle Mercogliano has been arrested. Why? Well, guess what? A 35-year-old Pennsylvania teacher has been arrested for having sex with a student with whom she repeatedly messaged during a police investigation. Well, during the investigation about their alleged relationship, she couldn't stop it. She had to message him. Okay. All right. Michelle Megliano of Phoenixville had a sexual relationship with a student at Conestoga High School, where she worked as a teacher beginning February 2025 in Chester County District Attorney's Office. The district attorney said the alleged victim told detectives that his communication and relationship with Mercogliano outside of class began early in the school year when he was late for school. He said, "You're going to have to wait after class. You've been a bad boy." And Mercogliano asked one of his friends for his Snapchat handle. Mercogliano messaged the student to offer him them. Is this a they-them thing? Uh-oh. Anyways, you offered him a ride. The victim said he had sexual intercourse with Mercogliano approximately 12 times, and that Mercogliano performed oral flags on him on a similar number of occasions. So 12 of those. Wow. The first time the two had sex was at the victim's home in Wayne. The victim said that Mercogliano would secretly pick him up in the back parking lot of apartments near Conestoga High School and would drive him to his home or to a local marijuana dispensary in Phoenixville. The teacher would buy the marijuana and give it to the child. Mercogliano has given the victim marijuana about once a week since last December. Usually, he'd take him to McDonald's and get some fries and stuff. No. All about the weed. Mercogliano and the alleged victim would then smoke the marijuana together and have slacks. The alleged victim's father found medical marijuana. Oh, well, then it's medical. It's perfectly all right. And with Mercogliano's name, jeez, on the label in the bedroom closet. The alleged victim's sister told their parents about the sexual relationship happening between Mercogliano and her sibling. Jeez Louise, did the sister walk in on this one day? Police learned of the conduct earlier this week, quickly launched a thorough investigation, and immediately worked with the whatever, Easttown School District to prevent the defendant from having further contact with students. Parents and students should be able to trust their teachers. Chester County District Attorney Christopher L. Barrera, the DA. The defendant broke the law and destroyed that trust. It will not be tolerated. Mercogliano was charged with institutional sexual assault, corruption of minors, delivery of a controlled substance, and other related offenses. The defendant has not yet been arrested, but is cooperative and arranging an appropriate time to turn herself in via her attorney. Well, they can't find her? I mean, I'll come in eventually. Well, all right then. But hey, it was medical marijuana. Look, she had the prescription. It's on the up and up, right? Yeah. And maybe her student, had a headache. And she said, you know what I do for headaches? I smoke weed. Weed? What is it? Well, some call it marijuana, but I call it weed. It's a real lifesaver when I have a headache going into work. All right, let's try it. And then they both lost their headaches. And, when you don't have a headache, you're in the mood for one thing led to another. And oopsie, it's really as innocent as that, because accidents do happen.
And now it's time for the world's greatest superheroes band together as friends to justice. They are the best friends. Later, at the Hall of Superdom, within the break room of said Hall of Superdom, we find Best Man, Maid of Honor, and Fireman deep in discussion. Unwell soul, since that kid trying to copy my fire powers set himself on fire, well, of course, a lot of fire departments throughout the nation would appreciate it if I stop wearing the fire helmet as part of my fireman outfit. Now, they also wanted me to change my name, Fireman, but I mean, fire powers is what I've got, so what else am I going to call myself? So, as a compromise, yes, I no longer wear the fireman's helmet as part of my outfit. I just wear the mask. Well, that's something there, Fireman.
Hey, guys.
Rocket Man, what is it?
Oh, you're all needed in the operations room.
And soon, once again, in the operations room, up on the large monitor screen, the assembled best friends bear witness to something terrible happening at the oil platform in the Gulf of Mexico. It appears Pool Man has become enraged at Medicine Man and, using his watery powers, has formed a giant water creature to do battle with Medicine Man. Damn him, I should have known. Even when I provide a chaperone, I still can't trust Pullman to do a simple mission of taking care of a giant sea serpent. Oh boy, alright, we gotta deal with it. And soon, fireman, maid of honor, and best man can be seen flying over the skies of Gulf of Mexico. And upon their arrival, they see still Pullman using his giant water monster to battle Medicine Man. Alright, gang. Fireman, use your fire powers to turn that giant water monster of Pullman's into a cloud of steam. Maid of honor, you use your healing powers to tend to Medicine Man's injuries. And as Pullman drops to the platform below, well, I'll deal with him. And soon, the best friends go into action. Fireman swoops down and aims for the center of Pullman's water monster. With a single blast of flaming plasma, the water creature is suddenly reduced to a giant cloud of steam. And soon, Pullman, no longer within his giant water creature, plummets down to the platform.
What the hell's going on? Damn it, fireman!
Will Pullman finally learn his lesson? And what about the sea serpent? Well, it's dead. But what about that? Perhaps we'll find out in the next exciting episode of Best Friends. Best Friends is a Nailsin production. All characters are written and performed by me, Douglas Nailsin, with music by Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources.
It's said that King Arthur was Britain's greatest ruler. Well, he got the throne by pulling a sword out of a rock. This gave him a massive hernia. He turned to Merlin, but eating rat tails and rubbing frog guts all over will not cure a hernia. Anyway, he couldn't fuck all that well on account of his condition. So his wife turned to Lancelot. Yeah, he hired a guy named Lancelot to guard his horny wife. So Lancelot lanced her, a lot. Meanwhile, Arthur got seduced by his sister, and their inbred offspring did him in. It's all sad if not so stupid. Still, though, Britain would be better off with a ruler like Arthur today.
All right, now we're back for the Photoshop segment. So here we go. I've put this here, but that's a comic strip for later. There's one of the original drawings I did. I had her in this outfit. See, it's cute and stuff. All right, now I do have one picture I saved out of the. Is her eyes blue? Or is it? Look, we're going with blue. All right. I gotta touch up some things here. I don't know why that's there. But, so we will add the flesh tone. No. I have to fade that a little more. There we go. We'll decide that the shadow is cast on this side. And some of these details, but we'll make it like, the light source is from this side, so it sort of, it's the light source, so it lightens up this area of the face. Okay, we'll put this part here. All that. Shadow here. And
A little bit here too. Not a lot, but a little bit. While I go through the scalp area. Little bit. Gotta take all that back out because I did screw up. And her hair is, well, it's jet black. See, it could be like a James Bond character. They called her Jet Black. So, she's a pilot. Oh. We'll go ahead and do the lipstick. Whoops, wrong layer. There you go. No, that's not the right one. There we are. Okay. The hair. Well, let me take one of these. Maybe like that. We'll give it its own layer. And go for a big brush, maybe not too big. And we will give the hair the coverage. Don't worry. It's like, hey, you're making it like all our hair's gray or something. It's like, no. It's a process, don't you understand? All will be corrected. Well, from a certain point of view, it's artistic license, you understand. That's always the pass. And I do have one. I have an artistic license. Yes. No, you can't get them at the DMV. Not even at the post office. You just kind of sort of have to have one. You know, it's, I don't know, something God does. Here we go. Now, it goes by a lot quicker to just sort of paint everything like this. It kind of smudges over here and there and that kind of thing. And that's the drawback. Painting it, filling with color everywhere, and then there's always going to be some line somewhere that's not connected, and it can just be such an annoyance. And takes, sometimes for forever. Yes. And see, I'm still doing that now, in another dimension. But it's weird because if it's all connected, it's instantly filled up, so once in a blue moon, it's just right. And you don't have to worry about it. And then there'll be, I don't know, somewhere around the ears or something will be all opened or something like that. And then you just, oh, damn it. I got this far, and now it's taking forever. And then that's punishment for all eternity in hell, Will I ever
complete this task? No. You're in hell, stupid. Oh, that's the thing. It's like the guy who had to push the, what was his name? Sisyphus? Yeah, his name was Sisyphus. It's bad enough his name was, everyone called him Sissy. But he was, I forget why he was punished that way, but he had to push a rock up a mountain, or maybe it was just a hill, but it was really heavy and it, was so laborious and everything. And then he would finally get to the top of the hill, and then it would just roll back down, and he had to start over. And he had to do that for all eternity. And, well, he didn't enjoy it, but you could imagine he wouldn't. But after a while, he's like, yeah, this is what I do. So I imagine there has to be some clause within, I don't know, the magic or something, to where you never get used to it, It's like each time it goes back down after that exhausting push up the hill, it's like the first time it happened every time. And you're like, oh man. And then you got to start over and do it again. And, but even that, it's like, are you fully aware of the, walked right into that. Are you fully aware of, you're being punished? This is what you have to do for all eternity for whatever idiot sin you committed. And that's that. I mean, because then you're just like, well, I guess you really are just a ghost of your former self, which is the point. You're dead and you're in hell or whatever. Yeah, so. Yeah, you know what? Just forget what I said. It doesn't matter. All right. Here. There you go. All right. Supposed to maintain all your layers, but look, I'm on a schedule here. So there, see, kind of darken it, becomes more cartoony looking, all that good stuff. See, it's fantastic. There we go. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what color the shirt should be. I think didn't she do a show where she was in a navy blue shirt with a white collar? Something like that. Seem to recall something like that. And, well, we're going to go with that like it's rock solid truth. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Probably this. This. And come on. Oh, look at that. Well, what a mess. But I'll just have to fix it. You break it. You own it. Okay. Womp, 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 womp. Womp, 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 womp. Womp womp. I don't want that there. I don't. Damn it. Oh, the rage. The fury. There we go. That fixes that. And blah, 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 blah. This. Yeah, that. Why not? Sure. Okay. And then, I don't know, I'll just do this. Yeah. All right. We'll probably take all that out too. Yeah, there. Good enough. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Crap. Well, we'll do some more eyeliner here. And that'll take care of a potential problem. And, wow, this is an unusual. I didn't realize it did that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Gonna increase the size of the brush, and then I'll do it like this. Yeah, I kind of messed up there. Let's just do it like that. Gotta start all over. There you go. Okay. No, that ain't gonna work. Whoops. Jeez. What a way to screw it up. A conundrum, as it were.
All right. I'll help a little bit. Okay. Jeez. Let's see how far back we can go. That's it. Didn't really solve anything. Damn it. Okay. Something like that. Jeez, that's all it does? Weird. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay. Ah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So there's a little bit of shine in the. Oops, screwed up on that too. Jeez, always. There. And this has got to be changed to. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Come here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And then like something of that. Okay. Oh, psst, damn it. Yeah, there we go. Whoop. Didn't want to hit that part. There. And there. And there. All right. I think that'll do.
I just gotta wait for my hand to come back to life as it goes numb operating the mouse. And it's just one of those hazards. So, are her eyes green? Or is that just a crappy picture? Yeah, I'm sticking with blue. Yeah, we're gonna stick with blue. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's all connected. Hell, I might be able to just do the. Let's see. We'll just say the hair arms around here because I can. Because again, I have artistic license. There we go. We'll do that. Okay. Okay. I wonder. Let's see what happens. Wowie kazowie. Almost. Almost. How about right there? Does that work? Yep. It did. All right. Now the other possible trick here that easily speeds up time is to make several copies of the layer, and then we just make it all one color. Oops. Oh crap, this is in the wrong mode. No? What did I do? Hit the wrong one? Yeah, I did. Alright, so there we go. And then we have a template for the flash tone. And then this one, we do the same thing. There you go. And crap, I don't know if I got the right color or not. We'll go with that. All right. So maybe put this here. Okay. It takes some of it out. At least a great deal. So we don't need it there. We definitely don't need that there. Not there. Not there. Not here. And, well, crap. I don't know. Let me see here. Yeah, that's the ear. Yeah, all right. We'll just say those are strands of hair, and we'll get rid of it in the long run. Okay. Oop. Well, I guess it's all right. There we go. And that. And this. Close enough. Well, hell, pretty much there. Go ahead and merge the layers. And oop. Do that. Oh, what is there? Yeah. Oops. Damn it. Oops. Upside the head. Oops, upside the head. Well, you can stay like that. Okay. No, damn it. Well, all right, maybe so. There again, I don't really know the eye color. Here. Let's go ahead. Go with brown eyes, I guess. I don't know. Oops. Too much there. Jeez, why is it? It's in the wrong brush. Yeah. All right. Now let's see here. Yeah. And again, with glasses, I always just leave them blank, as it is referencing the lens. Yeah. But anyway, it's 3 different ways of coloring these drawings, you know. Oops. Oops. All right. Okay. And let's see here. We'll do that. We'll do this. And we'll get rid of the background. And the excess. Okay. All right. Man. Some amount of saturation.
Yeah. There you go. Pretty cool. That'll work. Whoops, too much. Maybe that's just right. Oh, man. Well, all right. That. And this. Oop. There we go. Okay. And that'll probably. Well, all right, maybe one of these. Yeah, that's probably a little better. Oop, oop, oop. Oh my God. I don't know if we do like that's a strand of hair going, and the glasses come out over there or something like that. All right. Now, here's our KiKi. We put her like that. And we'll take Haley. And then you put the head about, like that size. And then another one down here. And then we'll go to Jackie. And she's over here. Yeah. Maybe like that. And down here. Yeah, that's probably enough, I guess. Maybe over up here. Yeah, that's about right. Probably put it there. All that just for this. But that's pretty much the deal.
Let's see here. Whoops. Messed up on that. Oh, damn it. Which one is it? Oh, it's this one. All right. Take that out. Oops. What the hell just happened? Hit the wrong thing, I guess. No. Some of it does a good enough separation, but all right. All right. And then here. The same bill. Oops. This one? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, there's way more. Oops. Yeah, that'll work. And there we go. The, I don't know, obsession. Same position there. Well, maybe there should be another one. Yeah, but that puts her too close to that. Let me see here. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, it really doesn't work. Yeah. It's just going to have to be that amount. I think that's the deal. So there you have it. KiKi and the socials. I mean, the anti-socials. All right. I am dead tired. So I think we'll end it there. Let me see. Let me see the remaining chat. No, I read that one. Acid Dust says, hi, Doug and pals. Hi, Acid Dust. Lugs, how long did it take you to learn to illustrate with Photoshop? Is this Photoshop? Yes, it's Photoshop. I don't know. I guess a couple of months. I mean, I went to, got a degree in commercial art. So, there was a couple of classes on it. And, at first I was like, I had no idea how any of this worked. And then little by little, and then just over the years, once I got a copy of my the program, just messing with it, and it's the same thing of any other program. I mean, you have to screw with it, mess with it, figure it out. And these days, of course, there's tutorials and everything, and eventually you get it. Lugs, one must imagine Sisyphus happy, said Albert Camus. Did he? St. Ranger, live? I'm alive, and this show is live. How convenient. Diabolical laugh. St. Ranger says, hello, world. World, say hello to St. Ranger. St. Ranger, oops, said Doug. On one of his earliest albums, Bill Cosby had a routine called Oops, about a visit to the doctor's office, and his doctor said, oops. And Cosby wanted to know what the oops was. Yeah, it's never a great thing to hear the doctor go, oops. Oh, well, you can live without that organ, you know. You don't want to hear that. No. Unless that was his signal of, I slipped you an extra supply of lewds, you know. Hey, Thompson. Hey, Doug, did you order the Xenomorph fleshlight yet? No, I will not be doing that. St. Ranger says, hi, Lugs. A kiwi pineapple. Hey, do you do commissions? Well, I should, but at the moment, there's a lot going on. So stay tuned. Hopefully I can arrange for that sort of thing. I have done work for people, yes. But at the moment, just so much to do in so little time, you know. Anyway, there we go. I'll send that off. I think I will redo this. I'm not too happy with it. But it's a good effort, I guess. And we'll see what Pretty Antisocial thinks. And there we go. Another Nailsin work of art. Yes. All right. I guess I'll take off to rest. And oh, damn. And this went, this is, well, it should download, not, shouldn't take too long because I'm going to clip out the Alien Earth part and just put that out as my Nailsin Ratings review, you know. So that'll probably show up at some time later in the day. Wednesday comics, not happening. Maybe Thursday. I'll do a Thursday comics. And really, I don't have much to talk about. I guess I could do a thing on the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, The Tempest. That's the recent one. It's the last book in the series, and I read that one, so I could probably talk about that. Anyway, there we go. Have a good rest of your day. I should show up at Pop Culture Breakdown over at Doomcock's channel, which begins 7 p.m. Central, and all that. You know, you'll get a kick out of that. The Mr Nailsin Store is over at Zazzle.com. You can check that out. The comic books are available at IndiePlanet.com. You simply go in there, IndiePlanet.com, and punch in Night Night or Doodleverse comics, all that good stuff. And, you know, you'll get some Nailsin stuff. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. So, you know, again, thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day.
Hollywood good to Billy Witch, they would, there's no debating. All that's left is the Nailsin rating. The first feast from the corpse of the beast, only after the feel of the vulture. Pop goes the